Hi girls! So I'm excited today because most of you know that TRX is my favorite thing, and I think it's one of the best ways to train your body at home. And since we're all stuck at home, we thought we would give you a TRX workout. If you don't have a TRX, no problem, because you can do everything off the straps. This will be a little bit longer video because I am going to show both on strap and off strap workout. So starting out, we're doing a minute of each of these exercises to warm up our bodies. Sorry about my situation. I have a really narrow space here, so I can't film from the side, so you're gonna see a lot of my butt. Hope that's okay. So we're gonna start out with our lunge with a T. Since I'm in a confined space, T is out to the side. I don't have room, I have a wall right here. So I'm gonna do a lunge with a Y, okay? Same thing, if you're off the straps, just lunge, Y, and then single leg alternating hip hinge. So I'm hinging at my hips, kicking my leg out to that flat back, and I'm gonna alternate. If you're on the floor, I would just bend at your hips, do some hip hinges, send those hips back. And then we have a deep lunge. So I'm getting nice and wide here, a big wide straddle, and I'm gonna stay low. I'm gonna flex my foot, come on over to the other side. So you can come here, okay, if you're off the straps. And then we have overhead squats, okay, here off the straps, right? Or you're gonna use your foot cradles, okay? Geez, you're not gonna be able to, you don't want slack, okay? But you're gonna hold these tight. I don't have the room, I set my phone too close, okay? But you would come here, my straps would be tight though. You don't ever want slack on your straps. Inchworm, okay? Walk it down into that plank, back up. You guys should know monster kicks. And then reverse lunge. You can hold on to the TRX if you have one. Take it back. One here. Because I'm gonna have to walk back out into a handstand. So let's move this back. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so first round is an AMRAP. It's 12 minutes long. We're gonna start out with plank abduct to straddle. Plank abduct, should be a plank abduct to a crunch. I don't know why that says straddle. So if you're on the floor, you're gonna just walk it out, straddle, straddle, in, and then crunch your knees and back, okay? In the TRX, you're gonna go abduct. When we abduct, we always wanna hold for a few seconds. That way it works our inner thighs. So we're coming up, we're gonna squeeze, bring it back in, give me that nice crunch, and then drop it back, okay? If you usually take my classes, we do a lot of handstands. If you're not used to doing handstands, don't try this at home, okay? 1 with 2. Okay, I'm gonna walk it back. Okay, and from here, I'm doing my abduct and my crunch in my handstand, okay? Girls that are in my class, you know how to do those safely. Okay, then what else do we have? We have pikes and an inverted row with knee drive. For inverted rows, you're gonna wanna go up to short or over short. Short's gonna be harder because you're actually lower to the floor. So I'm gonna go at short. I'm gonna row, and then I'm just gonna drive my knee at the top. So I'm gonna get into my tabletop position, hips are nice and high, okay? And I'm gonna row, and then drive that right knee. Row, leading with my chest, right knee. I would just do a bent over row, right side only. You could do your lawnmower, okay? If you don't have a TRX, pikes. We're in mid-calf. Like a crunch, but instead of just the knees, my whole body's gonna fold, okay? So I'm here, up, down. We also have our plank hip drops. Go to your forearms, side, you need to come out more, side, side. Okay, on the floor, we would have pike, okay? And then hip drops, same thing. Narrow hip press. So when you narrow hip press, heels are gonna go in. You want your knees touching. So as close together as you can get them. Press those hips up and down. You wanna make sure booty's not touching the floor. We don't wanna rest. Girls without straps, same thing. We can always add weight, but you're keeping those knees nice and narrow. Then finish the inverted row with the left side. Then we have 5-minute little tiny AMRAPs. You're gonna start off with bicep curls, which are at mid. My door brings it a lot lower, so if you're looking at my straps, My mid is a little bit higher. You kind of just gotta know your setup. So, bicep curl, I lean back, pull up. Remember when we're in that TRX, it's not like a normal bicep curl with weights. We pull all the way up to the temple, and then chest press. So at long for your chest press. You can go as long as you can without them touching the floor. You don't want them dragging. Just like our push-up on the floor, okay? You want to make sure that you're coming to a 45-degree and not a 90 angle. So push back, bring forward. Then we have get up, stand up. And for my girls without straps, you're going to do push-ups instead of chest press. Get up, stand up, surrender lunge. So we're either here, rocking. Okay, we can stand. I like to add a tuck jump, arms behind your head, lunge, lunge, here, here. If you can't lunge to the floor, you have bad knees or something, okay, right here. Atomic pikes. I'm going back up to my calf. And this is just a pike with a push-up, okay? So in the TRX, you can always, for modifications, use your knees on the push-up, and if a pike is too hard for you, go ahead and do a crunch, which we already did. So I'm doing my pike, okay, come up, and then I'm dropping down to my push-up. That's one. And then I also have plank abducts again, but separated. So you're here and here. Okay, on the floor, you're gonna do more of those plank step outs, and then you're gonna do your pike, your pike, you go this way. I'm acting like I have a ball or a TRX. You gotta go the other way. And then drop it down to a push-up. Next one, and then sit up to bridge. So with this one, when I did these the other day, I used a weight, okay? So I'm doing my normal sit up. I like to keep that weight behind my head. Sit up, okay? And then I have to scoot a little bit forward, bridge. Same thing if you're on the floor, sit up to bridge. Sumo squat jumps. Remember, I'm gonna be nice and wide. My knees are gonna track over my toes. Modification is always a tippy toe. And you're gonna wanna be at mid. Okay, so I'm here nice and wide. Pop up, up. Just lightly holding on to those straps. And then skaters. I'm probably gonna go out of your viewpoint. But most of you should know skaters. If you have more space than I do, when you're on the TRX, to make it harder, you can always lift that back leg, okay? Or we're on the floor, okay? Chest nice and high. Daytona 500, I don't have a weight with me, okay? Around your waist, pretend this is my handbag, to your deadlift. Make sure you alternate directions. Alternating split flies. So I'm gonna open my arms like an alligator mouth, okay, and switch. I'm at mid. So I'm going up. My arms are always staying nice and straight. When you bend your arms, you're not using your shoulders as much as you should be. And then I can't do a T fly here. You would pull out. I'm gonna change it to a Y fly. Okay. So here and back. For my girls that don't have straps, for your alternating split flies, let's take your handbag, front or shoulder press, okay? And then you can do one side if you have a handbag. If you can't have weights, let's do a lateral raise. I don't know why I can't think of that right now. Lateral raise each side, or if you have dumbbells, you can do both sides at once. Squat thrust to 180 hop. These are off the TRX. So I'm down, coming down for my push-up, and then I'm doing a half hop set. Redo that, okay? Half hop. Then you're gonna finish up with another AMRAP. You have your crossing balance lunge. I'm at mid again for those. And it's a curtsy lunge if you're on the floor. So here, when I'm in the TRX, I'm just picking up that back foot. Modification, set it down like a regular curtsy lunge. So, I don't know if I'm gonna go out of your viewpoint. I'll try this side. And here, drive, here, drive, okay? You're doing 10 each leg. And then plank punches, okay? You're either off the straps, punching in your plank, keeping that body nice and square the whole time, so you don't want to start turning those hips. In the TRX, it's obviously a bit more complicated. So it's a lot harder to keep that body weight centered. So if you're wobbling around too much, just do them on the floor. Okay, or they look like this. Let's see, one. See, even I wobble a bit. They're hard. And you don't want to be sawing either. Tricep dips. For these, I'm going to go all the way up. That way I have some room to dip my bottom. My heels are going to go in. Okay. And I'm going to dip, dip, dip. Okay, same thing if you're on the floor, or rock it back for that balance level. And then we have our arch ups. You can do arch ups in the TRX. I really don't think they do anything extra, so I'm gonna do them on the floor. So looking down at that floor, come up and step back. And then we have hip hinge. So I'm gonna go, you can do anywhere between mid-calf and long. The longer you go down, the harder it's gonna make that hip hinge because you have more room to roll out. So let me just take it a little bit further. So this is kind of like those ab roller machines, those little things, the wheels that roll. So booty up against your door or under your anchor point. You're gonna come out to this roll out position. You wanna hold here for a couple seconds, squeeze everything, your tummy should start shaking, and then drop it back. So that was a little bit too easy for me. So I would go down lower, right? And I'm gonna come here and hold. So you wanna make sure everything is in one nice line, that booty's not sticking out at the base. Everything's tucked and squeezed. If you are on the ground, you don't have a TRX, let's do, I'm trying to think, because we can't really do rollouts. Why don't you do your plank seesaw? So rock it back and forth, okay? Forward, back. You can go on your forearms to make it a little bit more challenging. And then our last one is sprinter starts. So you want to be at long on this one. And you actually put the TRX under your arms. It's going to go in your armpit crevice. From here, you take a nice big step back, okay? And I'm going to drive that knee to my tippy toe, okay? Or I'm going to hop it. Reset. Every time you step back in that nice lunge, and we can do these just as easily on the floor. Set, drive, okay? And I think that's it. I hope you guys have fun with your TRX workout.